I've had my Vision Pro for about a week now. Spent a ton of time in it over the past week getting to know the operating system, but also this whole work week I've been working within visionOS itself. And when I say working, I mean working, coding, podcasting, looking at designs, writing, doing all the things that I typically do in a work week. And when I say in visionOS, I mean for all the time that I'm not on camera, whether live streaming or on calls, I've been with visionOS. I've been inside the headset for hours on end, getting to know it, because I've been really intrigued by the virtual workspace aspect of visionOS. That was the reason that I was most excited for the product, honestly. I wanted to see if I could trim down to just a laptop and a headset and not have any of the displays that are on my desk or any of the other things that I do to get my work done. If I could just use these two products, then I could be as productive everywhere as I am right here in this office. Whether I'm traveling, on the road, in hotels, on airplanes, at my parents' house, wherever it is, I could be working with the same environment across the board, and that consistency, I think, brings huge benefits. So I wanted to give it this first week to really try it and see, do my eyes get tired? Does my neck get tired? Is it uncomfortable? All around, no. I think I'm probably going to move my displays out of here next week, but I've been talking to a lot of people, they've been asking questions about what it's like to use it, so I thought it'd be cool to let you see the way I've been working with this for the past week, and maybe get a sense if it's something that you might like as well. So I'll throw this on and I'll give you a little tour of my desk now, and then show you what I've been doing in visionOS to really get a sense if it was something that would work for you. So throw this on, and I'm using the dual loop band, which has a little extra top strap on it, which does help with the weight. I think it distributes it a lot easier, a lot better than the solo loop band that it comes with. So instead of you looking at me like this, I'll bring you inside the headset and we'll take a little tour together. So this is the setup that I'm usually using day to day. I've got my main 27-inch 5K display in front of me. That tends to be my main task, coding or looking at designs or writing or recording or streaming apps when I'm podcasting. Off to the right, I've got my 14-inch MacBook Pro. Tends to be sidekick tasks, communications, Discord, Slack, documentation. Maybe I've got Safari up there looking at a site that I'm working on, reference material, whatever it is that I need to look at. And off to the left, I have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, a little bit of an older model, but I usually run it in iPad mode with my keyboard and trackpad working on there for my calendar, to-do lists, email, whatever. Oftentimes, I am building out of Xcode right onto this device as a test environment, so that tends to be the way it gets used. I occasionally use it in extended display mode, which is a third Mac monitor, but those use cases have become increasingly rare lately. I just tend not to use that. I can get what I need to get done on iPadOS itself, so that's what that's over there for. So this is my workspace, right? And then I've obviously got a lot of other stuff on this desk. I've got my mic and audio interface, Stream Deck. Behind this display is a camera and a Keylight Air. So there's a lot of complexity on this desk, which is probably why I want to slim down to see if I could just get away with a laptop here and this headset for when I need a more expansive work environment. So let me show you what that's like now. I'll bring in my Mac to the environment. You look over at your Mac and there's a little connect button to tap. So it brings your screen into this environment, and it's the same point resolution as a 27-inch display like I use on my desk. It's 2560 by 1440 by default. So even when I'm on the road, this would make me as productive as I am with this big monitor that I use day to day. And that alone is a huge boost. I can see the same amount of code that I'm used to, pull things up side by side like I'm used to. That's a huge benefit in itself right there. But then as the other displays around you, you've got a full OS at your fingertips here. So you can bring in, instead of running this on the Mac, you bring in Safari, and that is something that's going to sit off to the left, off to the right here. And then over here, maybe I want to bring in my to-do app, which is what typically is hanging off the left side of my monitor. So I would bring that into the environment and throw that right alongside my window here. Maybe above me, I want to bring in a music player to just have some music going while I'm working. So we'll get that going. And then maybe outside on my deck, I just want to have a calendar app. So it'll sit out there on my deck now. So when I want to know the weather, I can look outside, and there it is, sitting out there. Now these things will stay exactly where they are. As I look around, there is just zero movement on these displays, which is a huge benefit to disorientation. I've not felt any nausea. My eyes have not hurt at all on this thing. Even the weight is not much of an issue, because I find you can put windows at a more ergonomically comfortable position. So you get the benefit of being able to lean back in a more comfortable way and not have as much neck strain, because when you're looking down at a desk with a laptop or something, that tends to be more painful than looking at a comfortable position, maybe a little bit more lean back at these displays. Even with the headset weight, I find that it does kind of counteract that situation a little bit. So I haven't had any issues with that. You notice it on your face, but I have yet to really feel like my neck was hurting at any point during the day with this thing, which is interesting, especially because I've used it for hours on end. Now, the other cool thing, right, I'm running this in pass-through mode, so you can see the world around me. It is a little bit grainy because the displays inside are a lot better than the cameras on the outside, which is kind of a funny thing. So in certain lighting conditions, it is grainier than I thought it would be, to be honest. But it is the exact view that you're used to out there. So it is the same scale. It's the same, general proportions of everything. So there's no disorientation. But you do have the immersive environments that you can use as well. So instead of looking at my desk, I can turn the digital crown on top and dial in an immersive environment. And you can see I can dial it all the way so that when I look around me, I've got the environment all around me, or I can dial it halfway back, which the benefit there is that I look off to my side, the environment fades out, and I have good orientation about the rest of my environment. So I've got a very focused zone in front of me where I can see Mount Hood and this lake and everything, but off to the sides, I still am able to look around and be aware of my surroundings or whatever the case is. So I found that I really enjoy this in terms of a focus mode. I find like I can tune things out a little bit easier. I sort of equate it to putting headphones on in a coffee shop where you can sort of tune in to just your work and maintain some awareness of what's going on around you, but the work straight ahead of you is very much, just your primary focus. And I found that I enjoy that aspect as well. That might be a thing, working from home thing where you want to tune out your house a little bit so you're not thinking about tasks that are around you, sort of lingering. But I can, recreate the work environment that I'm used to with multiple windows anywhere I am, resizing them to my liking. And I find that I'm very productive in here. There is a limitation of just one Mac window within this environment, but the fact that you can pepper that with these other windows around you, and many times they're the same apps that you're using on your Mac. That alone right there makes you sort of offload some of the tasks from your Mac to visionOS, and that allows you to get the same sort of work done that you're used to. So this is where I've been working. I generally am sitting at my desk, but I can do this downstairs on the couch as well, or in the kitchen while I'm eating lunch. You can maintain these environments wherever you are, and I find that benefit probably the most rewarding aspect of this is that I'm not just going to limit my maximum productivity to my office anymore. I can expand out a little bit and maintain that productivity level or the efficiency level of these tasks when I'm somewhere else. The cool thing about these immersive environments as well is that it does bring you into a bigger space than you might be in. So I'm in a very tiny office. My office is 7 by 9 feet, which means, when I'm in pass-through mode, I can push this window out beyond my wall, but it breaks your brain a little bit because it just doesn't make any sense visually. I thought Apple might have this like stop at the wall, but they do let you expand out behind the wall or behind the objects in your room. But visually, it's not the most comfortable. So if you dial in to some level of immersion, I've got, this whole environment to actually work within. So maybe I want to push all these windows out and away from me and feel like I've got a lot more space to work and arrange things and do whatever else it is that I'm doing, and sort of throw them all around. And then here I am working on the edge of a beautiful lake with tons of physical space. And, maybe I want to bring some of these apps really close to me. So I'm reading or referencing or something, and then I've got windows further out. Or maybe I want to throw a video, maybe like an Apple developer video up on the side over here. So I can bring that in and watch different sessions as well next to the work. So there's just a huge amount of flexibility with this workspace, and I'm finding that I really do enjoy the work environment in here. So hope this gives you a little insight into what I'm doing here day to day. There's a lot that is going on. There's a lot to understand about this platform, but I do find that it's something that for people like me I work at home alone, and when I'm traveling, I'm probably in a situation where I'm working alone as well, in terms of physically alone, not necessarily alone for my work, but no one else is around me looking at me in the headset all day or looking at my weird 3D eyes in the front of this. But the workspace inside of it, I do find quite compelling. So we'll see. Next week, I'm going to probably change my desk around a little bit and clear some of the stuff out and see what it's like to work with a very slimmed down environment. So maybe I'll do another one of these when I rearrange a little bit, and update you on what that feels like with less physical clutter around and leave more room for the virtual workspace aspect of this. So hope this was cool to follow along with.